You are handing your financial advisors tens of thousands of dollars each year between fees and commission. I'm Adam Bergman, 25-year tax attorney and the founder of IRA Financial, where I've helped more than 30,000 investors invest over $7 billion. And today, I'm sharing the truth about financial advisors that they don't want you to know. I had lunch with a friend the other day who handed over all his money to a financial advisor, and he told me that they advised him against a really great real estate investment deal. And I quote, he told him, "I can make you more money than you can make anywhere else." That real estate investment actually tripled in just a few years, while the returns on the advisor's investment were just a fraction of that. And that inspired me to make this video. If you have a business and you need a lawyer, you pay a lawyer a flat fee or an hourly rate for their services. You know the service you're getting for that amount. The same logic applies to a financial advisor. When you're paying someone a commission or a percentage of assets, you have to be cautious. You want to understand who is managing your money and what legal obligations they actually have to help you. Financial advisors have a legal and ethical obligation to put your best interests above their own and avoid conflicts of interest because they're a fiduciary. Fiduciary is a person or organization legally and ethically entrusted to manage your money on your behalf. Whether you are working with a broker-dealer regulated by FINRA or the SEC, or an RIA operating under Department of Labor rules, the obligation is supposed to be the same. All fiduciaries are supposed to act in the best interest of the client, disclose fees, disclose risks, and put the client first. The reality is the broker-dealers and RIAs operate under different standards. RIAs face a lower degree of that best interest obligation, which is part of why a lot of broker-dealers have migrated into the RIA world. There is less regulatory risk, and you can still charge assets under management fee. So while fiduciary language sounds reassuring, the standard it actually requires depends heavily on what kind of firm you are dealing with. There are three ways a financial advisor can be compensated, and understanding all three is important. The first is the assets under management fee. That's the 1%. That is the most common structure. The S&P 500 historically has produced around a 10% annual rate of return. At that rate, money doubles roughly every 7 years. On 100K, you're paying 1% of 100K in year one. 7 years later, that same 1% is being charged off now 200K. 14 years after that, it's 1% of 400K. The fee keeps compounding right alongside your money. That's actually why asset management firms command strong multiples when they sell their business. It's recurring revenue and it keeps going up. You're paying for it. That is the fee structure you are operating inside. The advisor takes a percentage of everything you have with them every year, regardless of whether they did anything that year. The second is commissions. If the advisor is a broker-dealer, they can earn a commission when they place you in a certain fund or investment. The investment provider pays them directly for the sale. They are required to disclose this, but disclosure is not the same as alignment. If selling you one fund pays them more than selling you the other, that incentive exists whether or not the better paying option is the better product for you. The same dynamic plays out at JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and every major firm when it comes to their proprietary credit funds, private equity products, and alternative assets. The incentive fees paid by the fund managers to the brokers are supposed to be disclosed, but they're probably buried in small print and nobody's reading. The third model is a flat fee. There's a growing trend where advisors charge a set annual amount. That set amount could be $5,000 or maybe $10,000 or even more per year in exchange for unlimited advice. That flat fee could be added on top of an AUM fee or it could be separate. Either way, it's a lot of money. Clients are waking up to the math of the AUM model. When $1 million account is going to become a $2 million account in 7 or 8 years, paying 1% or more on that larger number for the same service does not make sense, especially when the underlying investment is just an S&P 500 index fund available at zero cost anywhere. Talk to your advisor and tell them what you want to invest and review their strategy. No matter what, you need a well-diversified portfolio that will beat inflation, grow in a recession, and invest based on your best interest. My last video breaks down the top assets every investor needs in their portfolio if you want to know what you could discuss with your advisor. It's linked in the description below. I'm not saying that you need to fire your financial advisor. Smart investors are educated. So here is the math that changes how people look at this when you are just paying 1%. Start with $100,000, earning 8% annually for 30 years inside of a retirement account. Without an advisor fee, after 30 years, you would have roughly $1 million. With a 1% annual advisor fee applied over that same period, you would have just $761,000. That is around $245,000 gone. That's not from bad investments, but from fees alone. And that is the conservative version of the math. A 1% annual fee does not reduce your wealth by 1% over longer periods. It can reduce your retirement wealth by 20 to 30% or more because, like your returns, those fees are compounding. Take, for example, a $500,000 portfolio earning 7% annually over 25 years. With no advisor fee, the portfolio grows to approximately $2.7 million. With a 1% advisor fee, it grows to approximately $2.15 million. The compounded cost for that account is roughly $560,000 in wealth that never materializes, just vanishes. When people see those real numbers, the reaction is usually the same. Oh my God. They are shocked to find that they lost that much money for nothing. That amount you give up is even higher when you're properly diversified and if you're not properly invested in tax-efficient retirement accounts. More on this later. Now, the 401k rollover is where this conflict shows up most clearly. When an investor leaves an employer, advisors routinely recommend rolling that 401k into an IRA they manage. That recommendation puts the investor's entire retirement balance into the advisor's fee-generating pool. It may be the right move in some situations, but it's not always the right move, and the advisor's financial incentive to recommend it exists, regardless of whether it is. Advisors are supposed to act in the best interest of their clients, but anytime you are paid a fee and potentially compensated by a third party to push a product, it's a conflict. Disclosing it does not eliminate it. Your advisor is still incentivized to push the products that pays them more money. Financial advisors do not want you to control your money because they don't get paid a fee. The genuine case for a traditional advisor exists in a specific scenario. If you're a client of a firm like Goldman Sachs, you may get access to certain IPOs or proprietary funds that are only available to their clients. That access could be meaningful. For every other investor, the investments available through a full-service firm are available at zero cost through a direct platform. The advisor is not generally going to provide any real tax advice. They are not providing retirement planning in the structural sense. They are just picking funds that you could just pick yourself. That's why a self-directed IRA is something most financial advisors never bring up with their clients. And the reason is clear. A self-directed IRA removes them from the equation entirely. And it's one of the best ways to build immense tax-free wealth. A self-directed IRA is a retirement account where the investor, you, controls the investment decisions rather than delegating them to an advisor or bank. But there are massive benefits to investors that traditional IRAs just can't touch. The IRS rules on what you can hold inside a self-directed IRA are far broader than what a traditional brokerage can legally invest in. With a self-directed IRA, you can invest in real estate, private equity, hard money loans, cryptos, gold, private businesses, and so much more. In 2026, the information and infrastructure available to individual investors is unlike anything that existed 20 or 30 years ago. Platforms like Schwab, Fidelity, Robinhood, and Interactive Brokers give investors access to research, data, and execution tools that were only previously available through institutional channels. An S&P 500 ETF is available at zero cost on any of those platforms. The outdated advice from advisors required you to put 60% of your money in broad market index funds and 40% in fixed income. They make 1% from all of it? I self-direct my investments in my IRA and Roth IRA, so I am fully diversified across assets in a well-rounded portfolio, including real estate, gold, private equity, hard money loans, and crypto. And so are my 30,000 clients investing over $7 billion. For someone adjusting to self-directed investing for the first time, the concern about making decisions independently is understandable. The reality is that those decisions are already being made. In a 401k, investors are already choosing their own allocations across a menu of funds. The moment the money moves to an advisor-managed IRA, that same investor is told they now need professional management advice for what is essentially the same decision set. If you know what you want to buy, you can buy it. If you want broad market exposure, you can put your money in the S&P 500 ETFs, which is what the vast majority of retirement accounts are doing anyway. If you want to go further and add alternative assets like real estate or private credit, the self-directed structure gives you that access in a way a traditional advisor-managed account will never. The cost of staying in the advisor-managed model is not just $500 or $1,000 a year. Even starting with $50K, that money is going to double every 7 to 8 years. Over 30 years, accepting the 1% fee because it feels like the norm will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is real. IRA Financial is the only platform in the country that has merged self-directed alternative investing and traditional equity investing into one account with one low flat fee where you can now buy stocks, cryptos, and direct alternative assets like real estate simultaneously. That combination did not exist before, and it changes the math on what self-directed actually means for American investors. Once you have the right account structure in place, the next question is how to actually build your portfolio inside of it. I have an upcoming video breaking down the new 60-40 investment strategy, what assets to hold, and how to position them for long-term growth. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. The self-directed transition for someone moving from an advisor-managed account is super straightforward. You just open an account at IRA Financial. We help you transfer the funds inside of your retirement account with no tax consequences, since it stays within the retirement structure, and roll the cash over. From there, you have access to an equity platform through Interactive Brokers to trade stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, and bonds at zero commission, along with up to 100 cryptocurrencies and the full range of alternative assets, all in one platform. Then, if you want to invest your IRA and a Roth IRA in real estate, gold, private equity, or private loans, we do it all for it. One platform, one flat fee, complete control. If you want to learn more about IRA Financial and what we can do to help you build more wealth tax-free, book a free consultation with IRA Financial in the link in the description below. Our tax experts will review your goals and help you set up the account and get you started so that you can start growing your wealth tax-free, all within your control to fit your goals and future legacy. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.